Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today I'm going to give you the definitive UFC 245 recap. Now, if you caught the preview video, we talked only about the title fights. So for the recap, we're going to stick to that as well. But before I get into that, I want to thank all of our viewers, new and old. This video right here is number 500 for the channel. So on behalf of Rob and myself, we'd like to both thank you for anyone who's ever watched, all of you that have subscribed, those of you that have commented frequently, thank all of you. But everyone who's ever interacted with this channel, we want to thank y'all. So without further ado, let's get into the action that happened into the octagon. So starting with the first title fight, which was Amanda Nunes versus Germaine de Randamie. Now, if you watched the preview video, if not, you could go back and watch that as well. I talked about how Amanda has gotten leaps and bounds better in her stand-up, but she always had the ace in the hole that she could take Germaine de Randamie down whenever she needed to. Now, I didn't feel she would need it as much in the preview video. I thought she used her striking and her power to differentiate herself between de Randamie and, score the more meaningful telling blows and get a decision. However, we saw de Randamie was able to match her because of her vast kickboxing experience, landing several nice head kicks like the one she landed in the second round, lots of good strikes, lots of good counters, and it made Amanda Nunes go into that takedown well very often. I think she landed 8 takedowns in this fight. And to de Randamie's credit, because in the first time they fought a few years ago, I think it was 2013 is what I said in the preview video. Once it went to the ground, it was over. This time, de Randamie was able to defend herself enough to not be stopped. However, she still didn't have the knowledge or experience, or maybe she didn't want to risk getting up, getting caught in the scramble and getting caught. But either way, once Amanda took her down, that was pretty much it. Unless the ref stood them up, she really didn't get a chance to get up on her own. So Amanda Nunes ended up taking a very tight, very highly competitive decision, even though she won all of the rounds. So, what's next for Amanda? We're not really sure. She's got the belts at 135 and 145. There was a young lady who had a very highlight reel exciting knockout on the undercard that was at 135. She may get a shot. They may have her split her defenses, defend 145, defend 135, back and forth. We don't know. So I'm going to go into the next fight, which was the 145-pound men's title. So it's the featherweight, with the champ Max Holloway taking on Alexander Volkanovski, who was coming off of a big-time win streak into this title fight. In the preview video, I thought that Max would be able to use his height and range and his varied striking to keep Volkanovski on the outside and not also use his takedown defense whenever Volkanovski would try to get the takedown and get a pretty wide decision win. So I was wrong on this one, because Volkanovski put on a counter shot clinic. I mean, every time Max tried to come in to get some offense going, Volkanovski either met him with heavy leg kicks or overhand counters and counters in combination that pretty much kept Max off balance most of the fight. He tried giving Volkanovski different looks, switching to southpaw to orthodox and back and forth. And he did have success as the champion, However, every time Volkanovski landed, you could tell there was a vast difference in the landed punch, the effect of the punch, and the sound, everything. Everything was different when Volkanovski landed versus when Holloway landed. And I think that's what swayed the judges the most. It definitely swayed my opinion on who I thought was winning the fight. I scored it like the judge who scored it all 5 for Volkanovski. I was like, man, I was highly impressed with the way he just countered Max Holloway the entire fight. So, congratulations to him. He is now the new men's featherweight champ. Holloway probably gets an immediate rematch, seeing how he's defended the title several times. He was on a long win streak himself. And I think as the champion, he deserves that. So let's get into the main event, because this is still the hot topic of the month. I know this video is going to be coming out is over a week since the fight happened, but everyone is still talking about Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. And man, what a fight it was. Now, in the preview, we talked about the wrestling of each guy. I talked about how I thought Kamaru was the more powerful guy and would land the harder strikes, but Colby's volume and ability to wear guys down, I thought that would affect Kamaru, and I picked Colby to win, even though I wanted Kamaru to win really bad. So, you know, looking at styles and trying to break down each style, I was going with Colby based on what I saw between the fights with him and Damian Maia, him and Rafael dos Anjos, him and Robbie Lawler. Kamaru's fights versus Woodley, the same guys, dos Anjos, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley. I saw it being a very tight fight, but like Colby scoring like 1 or 2 takedowns towards the end to kind of sway the judges. And we were going to have to hear that mouth. And I'm going to get into all that later on after we talk about what actually happened in the octagon. So when we got the actual fight itself, it was a 100% stand-up battle. Kamaru faked like 2 takedowns in round number 1, and that was about as close as we got to any wrestling in this contest. So why was that? Usually, like, especially when it comes to guys, there's this big macho thing to where, you know, like you kind of saw it with Ben Askren and Damian Maia as well, where when 2 guys are really good at one thing, they try to, you know, especially being that it's mixed martial arts, they try and use another avenue of success. And the first guy that goes to the well that they most know is kind of the guy who kind of says, hey, you're getting the better of me here. You're better than me at this, so I'm going to go back to this. So both guys, especially coming in, knowing that they did not like each other, you know, all the things that Colby has said about Kamaru, a lot of them, you know, like I said, we're going to get in that afterwards. So both guys came out. Colby is throwing lots of combinations as he always do. Like we said, there's not a lot on those combinations, but a lot of times guys are not able to keep up with how many strikes he's throwing, unable to find counter opportunities, but Kamaru Usman did. Kamaru Usman had a very concerted game plan that he's decided that he was going to stick to no matter what. And that was he was going to beat the crap out of Colby Covington's body. So the first round was pretty close. You got Colby's volume shots, and for all those volume, he misses a lot. And he was missing a lot versus Kamaru. Kamaru had his guard up. A lot of things were hitting the guard. A lot of things were just missing. But Kamaru is trying to get one shot off to overpower what Colby's doing. And every now and then he did. You could tell that Kamaru was landing the bigger punches from round 1. However, I and probably most people that were attempting to score the fight scored that first round for Colby. I think his activity did outweigh the power shots of Usman, but Usman was putting, as Teddy Atlas said, he put a ton of water in that basement. And how he did that was he had a front teep kick to the body and a right uppercut to the body. Right uppercut, right hook type of shot that he was throwing to Colby's body. And a lot of times he was throwing it in succession. Right hand, teep kick. Right hand, teep kick. Covington had no answer for it. So we go into that second round, and I'm feeling that Kamaru's power is starting to take over. Those body shots, every time he landed it, Colby's hands dropped, his body folded. There was a very big reaction every time he landed those body shots. And that's starting to set up those rights and lefts to Colby's head. So, second round's pretty close. Both first and second round, very close. I gave the first one to Colby, second one to Kamaru. Third round, however, Kamaru Usman starts to really land some heavy shots on Colby Covington. And you can see him slowing down. And this is the guy who is training with ultramarathon runners, who is praised for his cardio, who even I thought was going to have the better cardio based on how he employed his cardio. But Kamaru Usman's playing, combined with his power, started to sap that cardio from Colby. So he's landing that heavy body shot with the punch, followed by the teep kick. And I'm not going to kick the screen because my phone might go flying anyway. But anyway, he's throwing that teep kick. He's throwing that right hand to the body. And then he's landing hard, straight shots upstairs. To the point where at some point in this round, Colby Covington gets his jaw broken. And I think a lot of people, because that last punch that he landed, that last right hand that landed so hard, Colby thought he got poked in the eye. And that's usually indicative of something going like wrong in your nervous system when you get hit really hard. So he got hit so hard. That's probably when the break happened. And that's why he thought, he felt pain shooting. He thought he got poked in the eye. Didn't happen. But Kamaru dominated that third round. You go into the fourth round, and this one is close. You think, because after the second and the third round, you're like, this is the beginning of the end. He's breaking this guy down. It's only a matter of time before he stops him. And Colby, and this is after he tells his corner, hey, I broke my jaw. I think I broke my jaw. Which is weird because he didn't break his jaw. Kamaru broke his jaw. Either way. Comes out and is like, look, you are going to have to finish me. So he comes out and arguably wins that fourth round because he landed a couple of uppercuts and a few hooks that really looked like they got Kamaru's attention. Now, they never looked like they landed with the same force that Kamaru's punches were landing, but they still, made him stumble or back up a bit just for a quick second, because most of this fight, Kamaru is the one that's pushing the pace. He's the one going forward. He's the one in control of the center of the octagon. Once again, he's still landing those body shots. So I gave that round to Colby too. But watching it a few times, there was some times I was like, oh, you can still give Kamaru that round. But I think I'm going to give this one to Colby Covington. So I had it 2-2 going into the final round. Final round's happening. Colby's still doing pretty good. He's still landing that uppercut, which is, a good adjustment from him because he wasn't really landing it at first. But Kamaru's still steady landing those harder shots. He's still landing that right hand to the body, followed by that teep kick to the body, which really was the key to him winning this fight. So later on in the round, boom, hits him, drops him. This now, even though it was a hotly contested round, Kamaru's now winning this round. He gets up, boom, drops him again. Kamaru's definitely winning this round. So if it goes to the scorecards, that's probably a 10-8 round. on the judges' scorecard. So we saw that the judges' scores were all over the place. One of them had it 3-1 Kobe. One of them had it 3-1 Kamaru. The other one had it a draw. So this goes to the cards, which it didn't, so it doesn't matter. Scorecards don't matter because Kamaru finishes the fight. After that second knockdown, Kobe is trying to secure a takedown, trying to defend himself, but Kamaru was able to get enough separation to start landing some punches and show that Kobe's just trying to hang on and not defend himself from those. And then when he finally starts to, it's already too late. The ref stops the fight. So here's where all that outside stuff, comes into play. Because, like I said, there was a lot of things said in the build up to this fight. A lot of things said just in general, because Colby Covington chose a character that was a heel. And a lot of people have done that, which, isn't the worst thing in the world. It could be sort of annoying. Some people, do it better than others. I think Chael Sonnen was probably the best at it, in my opinion. Ben Askren tried it. You see other guys that have tried it. Mayweather did that with his whole money persona. Wasn't the best at it. But you kind of see a pattern recently with guys who have taken that route, gone a bit overboard, and then met up with somebody who made them answer for what they had to say. Made them eat their words, so to say. And I want there to be a lesson for that. Because, we see that these guys, Conor and Khabib, where he's going against this guy, he's saying terrible things about this guy's religion, his family, all kinds of things. And Khabib made him eat every word. You see Ben Askren, throwing shots at everybody at any time, just to be annoying. And then he meets up with Jorge Masvidal, and we all know how that ended. Fast and violent. On the boxing side, you got guys like Adrian Broner who do the same thing. And whenever he fought an elite guy, he got trounced. Not as bad as, the guys that I just mentioned, but it happened. Well, with Broner and Maidana, yeah, that was pretty bad. But then he ended up being a little bit competitive. I'm going to keep going. So, now we have Colby. So, we know Ben Askren, he never went past the line. So, Colby, especially when he chose this, we all know that he put on this act as a way to keep himself relevant and stay in the UFC. So, he calls everybody in Brazil filthy, which is pretty bad, but, not, it's right at the line. Then he aligns himself with Trump, who is pretty known to be someone who's gone over the line. A lot of people don't like him, like what he says, what he does, all those things. He has literally gone on the internet and has bullied people. Anybody who disagrees with him, he goes and calls them all kinds of names, things like that. Very juvenile stuff. But he's also really aligned with hate, which is important to what point I'm getting around to. Colby said really bad things about Kamaru's father, and who is incarcerated. And he said really bad things about Glenn Robinson, who was the owner of the Black Zillions gym, or the Black Zillions team, that had recently passed away. Within the last 2 years. Either way, the point I'm making is a lot of people got behind that. A lot of people thought that was really cool. The problem is, you see, eventually someone's going to make you eat your words. Kobe Covington got paid $500,000 to eat his words. Conor McGregor got paid millions of dollars to eat his words. Ben Askren, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Chael Sonnen, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most of you guys that thought that was cool, when you get your comeuppance, you're not going to get paid. You're just going to get your jaw broken. You're just going to get beat up. And for what? So let that be a lesson to people that you can't go around saying whatever you want to people, acting however you think you can act towards people, pretty much being a jerk, a a-hole, whatever you want to call that. Because somebody's going to pull your card, and unlike those guys, you won't get compensated fairly for it. Your compensation will be that ass whooping. So don't be like Kobe. Don't do it. Anyway, guys, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave your comments on how you thought the fights were, how much you enjoyed them. If you want to talk about the undercard fights and the main card fights before the title fight, drop some comments down below and we can rap about those. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we got, more boxing, more MMA action to talk about. And if you're into kickboxing, we can talk about that too. Like I said, we like to talk about all the combat sports. Anyway, follow us on Capital Combat social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on there constantly. And we'll see you in the next video. So, like I said, on behalf of Rob and I, we want to thank you all for watching. Until the next video, fight on.
It's round one and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.